Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Brooke's heart raced as she stormed into the room, eyes blazing with a determination that Katie had never seen before. For months, Brooke had been pushed, manipulated, and betrayed, and now she had reached the tipping point. The tension between her and Katie had been simmering quietly, but it had finally reached a boiling point, and Brooke's next move would leave everyone reeling. Katie, who had always considered herself calm and measured, suddenly felt a chill run down her spine as she realized Brooke wasn't just angry. She was strategic, precise, and ready to strike. "Brooke, what are you doing?" Katie's voice trembled as she attempted to maintain some semblance of control, but it was clear that she had underestimated Brooke. There was a fire in Brooke's eyes, a mixture of hurt and determination, and it radiated in waves that Katie couldn't ignore. Brooke's retaliation wasn't impulsive. It was carefully planned, a calculated response to months of slights and betrayals that had gone unchecked. Every step Brooke took seemed to echo through the room, each movement deliberate, each word loaded with meaning. Bill, who had been nearby, caught the tension immediately. His face tightened as he watched Brooke advance, a storm of anger and frustration brewing behind his eyes. Ridge had crossed a line, as far as Bill was concerned, and he couldn't believe that Brooke had waited this long to confront him. The fury that Bill felt wasn't just protective. It was possessive, layered with pride, ego, and a simmering resentment that had been growing quietly for years. He clenched his fists, feeling the familiar surge of rage that had defined so many of his confrontations with Ridge. As Brooke approached Katie, she spoke with a calm that was terrifying in its intensity. "Katie, you think you understand what's at stake, but you have no idea. You've been dancing around the truth, acting like everything is fine, but it's not. And now it's my turn." There was no hesitation, no room for argument. Brooke's voice was steady, controlled, yet it carried an unmistakable edge that made Katie flinch. For the first time, Katie realized that Brooke's retaliation wasn't just about Ridge or Bill. It was about reclaiming her own power, asserting herself in a world where she had often been sidelined. Katie's mind raced as she tried to respond, but Brooke's presence was overwhelming. Every word Brooke spoke seemed to dismantle Katie's confidence piece by piece. "You think you can manipulate everyone, Katie," Brooke continued, her voice cutting like a knife. "But I've watched, I've waited, and I know exactly what you're capable of. And I won't let it continue." Brooke's gaze hardened, and Katie felt an unfamiliar sense of vulnerability. For the first time, she realized she was facing a version of Brooke that was fearless, unyielding, and unstoppable. Meanwhile, Bill's anger at Ridge reached a fever pitch. He stormed toward Ridge, each step echoing with the weight of years of frustration. "Ridge, I've had enough," Bill shouted, his voice booming and resonant, demanding attention. "You think you can undermine everything we've built? You think you can play games while everyone else suffers?" Ridge, taken aback by the intensity of Bill's fury, tried to maintain his composure, but it was clear that the balance of power had shifted. Bill's rage wasn't fleeting. It was a culmination of pent-up resentment, a long-simmering fire that was finally unleashed. Brooke's retaliation unfolded in multiple layers, each move carefully designed to expose, challenge, and reclaim. She didn't just confront Katie verbally. She orchestrated situations that left Katie off balance, forced to react rather than act. Each encounter was meticulously planned, each word and gesture deliberate, designed to maximize impact. Brooke understood the dynamics of power, influence, and perception, and she used that understanding to her full advantage. Katie, despite her usual poise, found herself increasingly on the defensive, caught in a whirlwind that she had never anticipated. Bill's confrontation with Ridge was equally charged. Words were exchanged that cut deep, revealing old wounds and unresolved tensions. Bill's accusations were pointed, precise, and relentless. Ridge attempted to deflect, to reason, to manipulate the narrative, but Bill's fury was unstoppable. Every argument, every rebuttal, only intensified the conflict, leaving both men on edge, each aware that the stakes had never been higher. The room seemed to vibrate with tension, a tangible electricity that crackled between past betrayals and present confrontations. Brooke's retaliation wasn't just about confrontation. It was about revelation. She had gathered evidence, observed behaviors, and understood the hidden motivations that had driven the people around her. Each piece of insight she revealed to Katie was a carefully chosen strike, intended to destabilize and expose. Katie, normally composed and confident, found herself scrambling to maintain control, realizing too late that Brooke had anticipated every possible reaction. The shock was not just emotional. It was strategic, a demonstration of Brooke's newfound authority and willingness to assert it decisively. Bill, watching the unfolding drama, felt a mix of pride and vindication. Brooke's assertiveness mirrored the strength and courage he admired, yet it also fueled his anger at Ridge. The confrontation had become a three-way storm of tension, with alliances shifting, loyalties questioned, and emotions running high. Every glance, every word, every gesture carried weight, building toward an inevitable climax that promised to reshape the dynamics forever. As the confrontation escalated, Brooke's determination only grew stronger. She pressed her points, highlighted discrepancies, and revealed truths that left Katie reeling. The shock on Katie's face was mirrored by a growing awareness that she could no longer control the narrative. Brooke had seized the momentum, taken command, and turned the tables in a way that was both unexpected and undeniable. Meanwhile, Bill's rage at Ridge escalated into a boiling point. Every insult, every accusation, every reminder of past transgressions fueled a fire that seemed unstoppable. Brooke's retaliation had become a force of nature, unrelenting and precise. Katie, overwhelmed and shaken, struggled to regain composure, realizing that she was facing a new reality where Brooke's authority and resolve were undeniable. Bill, consumed by his own anger and sense of justice, confronted Ridge with a force that left no room for negotiation, forcing Ridge to confront the consequences of his actions head-on. By the time the dust began to settle, it was clear that nothing would ever be the same. Brooke had asserted her power, left Katie stunned, and shifted the dynamics in a way that would resonate for months to come. Bill's rage at Ridge had broken barriers, exposed vulnerabilities, and fundamentally altered relationships. The confrontation had been more than just a clash of wills. It was a transformative moment, one that redefined alliances, challenged loyalties, and underscored the lengths to which Brooke and Bill were willing to go to protect what they believed was theirs. As the room finally quieted, Brooke stood tall, a figure of determination and strength. Katie, still reeling from the impact, could only watch, realizing that Brooke's retaliation was complete, precise, and irreversible. Bill, seething but vindicated, kept his eyes fixed on Ridge, ensuring that the message was clear. Betrayal, manipulation, and deceit would no longer go unchallenged. Every glance, every tension-filled silence, every unspoken threat had contributed to a moment that would forever change the landscape of their intertwined lives. The consequences of this confrontation would ripple outward, affecting alliances, decisions, and relationships for weeks to come. Brooke's calculated retaliation had demonstrated her strategic brilliance, while Bill's explosive anger at Ridge had reinforced the intensity of their rivalry. Katie, left stunned and vulnerable, would be forced to reconsider her position and choices in the wake of Brooke's decisive actions. And Ridge, confronted with the full force of Bill's fury and Brooke's unrelenting determination, would have to navigate the fallout with caution, realizing that the power dynamics had shifted in ways he could no longer control. In the aftermath, Brooke's victory was quiet but undeniable. She had reclaimed her agency, asserted her influence, and left an indelible mark on everyone involved. Bill's rage, though still simmering, had been expressed fully, leaving Ridge to confront his own vulnerabilities. Katie, shocked and disoriented, had been forced to reckon with the consequences of underestimating Brooke. And as the echoes of confrontation faded, one truth remained clear. Brooke's retaliation had not only stunned her rivals, but had irrevocably altered the course of their intertwined lives, ensuring that the repercussions would be felt long into the future. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.